Hey everybody, John Huber here, Maryland Education Network, brought to you by Maryland K-12. I just got back from the wonderful Las Vegas convention on safe schools and got lots and lots of things to go over. Not right now. I'm going to, over the next couple of days, be putting little bits and pieces here about a lot of the really cool modern technology and things that are out on the market today to help keep our kids safe. But when I got back, I got hit by this piece that was on Project Baltimore on their website. What a horrible, horrible piece of reporting that this guy did. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you get a chance to go to Project Baltimore. There's this piece about the new Baltimore County COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer. His name is Dr. Jess Grim. Now, all cards on the table. I know Jess Grim. He's not a great friend of mine. He's an acquaintance. I've known him. And if I bumped into him tomorrow in the grocery store, he'd say, hey, John, how you doing? Oh, good to see you. Shake your hand. How's it going? Hey, congratulations on the new appointment. Yeah, best of luck to you. And probably going to be pretty much the end of it. But I'm looking at this, first of all, this headline is just new Baltimore County COO was head of transportation during broken bus scandal and promoted anyway. So then when you read on, you find out that the broken bus scandal, according to them, was there were these reports of buses that weren't operating properly. And by all occasion, by all reports, by their own report, it appears that it says a former bus mechanic came forward. They gave them pictures and whatnot. And they interview this one woman whose son uses a wheelchair bus. And she's talking, and they say here about how many days he couldn't use it because the wheelchair lift was broken. Well, the hint in their reporting here is that somehow this was all covered up, and they were running the buses anyway when they weren't safe. Clearly, if they couldn't use the bus because it was broken, that means that someone said, "Hey, the bus is broken; it's not safe to use." But then they go even further. They go on and saying, that she reached out to him and he was unresponsive. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe she sent him a few emails. Maybe she tried to call and he didn't return his call. I don't know. That happens. It's a horrible thing. Nobody's trying to harm anybody here. But the real issue, in my point, is they go on and on about how the buses, the kids are out of control, the behavior's out of control, and then they interview the lady, the bus driver, talking about the water bottle under her foot and all this kind of stuff. Yes, these are horrible, horrible things, but guess what? The Department of Transportation in Baltimore County has zero influence over student behavior on the bus. I don't think this guy knows that. Jess Grim couldn't do anything with those kids if he wanted to, which I'm sure he did. He used to be an administrator. I'm sure if it were up to him, he'd round them all up, but he can't. The Department of Transportation does that. They transport. The administrators of the schools, they're the ones who are responsible. And I can assure you, in Jess's time as an administrator and as a transportation executive or transportation director, whatever his position was, I'm sure he was on the phone to administrator saying, hey, you got to get these kids out of here. But they're not going to tell this guy this. I'll tell him that. They're not going to tell this guy this because they have probably an inside thing, and I can't say this for sure. They're not going to talk to this reporter because there's one goal on this, the purpose of this piece they did on Project Baltimore, and that's let's make Baltimore County look bad. Then he kind of hints, they're saying, well, in her new cabinet there were 6 people and 3 of them were promoted and 3 of them were retained, so no one from outside Baltimore County. Yeah, well, suppose they did bring somebody from outside Baltimore County, and then they'd be going on, well, they're bringing all these outside people in here. Well, they want more people from Houston Independent School District. Yeah, that really went well. Look. And I'm not one of those guys who's just going to bash on everything one side or the other. Project Baltimore's done a lot of really good stuff and brought some good things to light, especially when it comes to testing results, that sort of thing. I'm all for that. But this is just ridiculous. They looked at this the cabinet, as they call it, that they're bringing, that Dr. Yarborough is bringing in. And he just said, let's see what we can find on this guy. Oh, he was in transportation. That's a horrible thing. Yeah, we got a couple of people who were complaining that buses weren't being repaired. Well, by all accounts, by their own thing, it said following their report, the state inspected roughly 800 buses and found 145 defects. Okay, that's not a good thing. But then it says the buses were repaired, and MDOT, the Department of Transportation, issued a list of recommendations to Baltimore County schools for improvement. Okay, it doesn't say anywhere in there that they didn't follow. There's a hint here. There's a suggestion here that somehow Jess Grim is involved in this big cover. It's ridiculous. Okay, like I said, I know him, and I don't know him that well. He's I'd see him. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Outside of that, that's it. But this is a little much. Okay, this is a little much. This reporter is just going after blood because it's the slow time of the year. There's not a lot to complain about. So, of all of her appointments that she found that she's making, that the news superintendent in Baltimore County is making, of all of her appointments, he finds the one guy who's going to be the COO, and he finds that there was a report a few years ago when he was Department of Transportation, and apparently it was corrected. And one parent says that he was not responsive. And then a completely unrelated thing about student behavior on buses, which the transportation folks have zero influence over. They have no control. None whatsoever. They report it to the schools, to the administrators, and they're out. That's it. So anyway, a little much on the part of this reporter, and it makes you realize this is why the folks in the education field in Maryland don't want to talk to Project Baltimore. It's a shame because they do a lot of good. Like I said, I still enjoy a lot of their stuff, and I'm not bashing them for here and forever. I'm saying, but this particular one, just not seeing it. Anyway, thanks. Got a lot more stuff coming up about safe schools. Just got back from the conference, and thanks. Have a great day.